All right, what is up? We are live right after, of course, what can only be described as a absolute blowout here in Kansas. Larson wins both stages, leads pretty much the most laps, and it was not really even close. The only opportunity somebody had to really beat him was right there at the end because his tire was coming apart, but he had such a big lead that he was able to win the race. So, without further ado, let's just run through the rundown here. That is the poll question by the day. By the way, is this the worst 5 race run for the next gen car thus far since it's been debuted? Basically, because we've had a series of races that not a lot of people are in love with. Kyle Larson wins the race. He wins stage one, wins stage two, leads 221 laps. The next closest driver in laps led was 29 with Chase Elliott. Second place, good run for Christopher Bell. Third in stage one, fifth in stage two. Good day for the Reese's Fine Foods Toyota driver there today. Ryan Blaney, another solid effort. When Ryan Blaney finishes races, he finishes races well. Third place for old Dirty Blaney there. No longer YRB, no longer young Ryan Blaney. Chase Briscoe in the fourth place position in the Bass Pro Shops Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. He is going to be your second Toyota there. So 1, 2, 3 is Chevrolet, Toyota, Ford. So nice rotation there as far as NASCAR is concerned. Then you got another Toyota. Then behind him was Alex Bowman, teammate, of course, to Kyle Larson, with a fifth place finish in the Ally Chevrolet. Josh Berry, nice run for him in sixth place there. A little tussle with Ross Chastain earlier in the race. Kyle Busch got the worst end of it. But I think Josh Berry was probably the maddest at Ross Chastain there. Just given the radio communication they had during it, I still think it's probably nothing at the end of the day. But interesting radio communication there. Ryan Preece in seventh place there, continuing to just have the best opportunity he's been in, and he's taken advantage of it when he can get the finishes for sure in the bodyguard Ford number 60 for RFK. His teammate Chris Buescher right behind him in the 17 in eighth place there, the Kroger Clinics Ford. Joey Logano going to be ninth here today. Shell Pennzoil Ford was making the most of those restarts there, but couldn't make the magic happen like he did last week. But still a nice run for Logano there in ninth place. John Hunter Nemechek with a nice top 10 here in the Dollar Tree Toyota. I do believe that is his second, at least second top 15. I can't remember if he was in the top 10 last week or not, but I want to say he was. So this might be 2 back-to-back top 10s for him. I need to check on that. Austin Cindric ends up in 11th place, the other Penske car there. So all the Penske cars top 11 there. Todd Gilliland in 12th. Good run for Pickle Todd in the Loves Travel Stops Ford. Corey Heim in his I don't know, his first race of this season. I think he's only had like a handful of races altogether, 4 or 5. But he's done a nice job. You don't see a lot of young guys come in and do this here, finish in the top 15 a whole lot with this new car because it's such a big leap, a big gap. And he just did what the car could do today. Robin Hood Toyota brings it home in 13th place for the 67 and 2311 Motorsports, the highest finishing driver for 2311. So I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card. Noah Gregson here in 14th, Chase Elliott in 15th. Then you got Zane Smith, Tyler Reddick in 17th. Expected a much bigger day. I think a lot of people did from Tyler Reddick. Same thing for Ross Chastain. Trackhouse continuing to struggle. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 19th. And SVG, even though it was a struggle for Ross Chastain because we know he's good here, SVG not necessarily good here. So the 20th for SVG is actually pretty good. Starting to put it together a little bit better here on these ovals. The more experience he gets. Kyle Busch, obviously his day was ruined there with that contact between the four-way battle between the what was it, the 1, the 21, and the 4 and the 8. And of course, Kyle Busch got the worst end of that deal. So bad luck or no luck at all for Kyle Busch. His teammate finishes right behind him. Austin Dillon in 22nd. Michael McDowell 23rd. William Byron 24th with that tire issue. Cole Custer 25th. Carson Hocevar got into the wall there at the end, ends up 26th. Riley Herbst in 27th. He never really had it going on all day. Ty Gibbs, not sure what happened to him, but he was multiple laps down early on in this one. Ends up in 28th. Jesse Love, not the showing that he wanted. Like I was saying, these rookies, they don't usually get in these cars and run well. That's why I was talking about what Corey Heim did is so impressive. Jesse Love continuing to struggle with this car, even though he's running extremely well in the Xfinity Series. Cody Ware in 30th. Justin Haley, 31st. Eric Jones in 32nd. All these cars are had some contact at some point from here on down. Bubba Wallace in 33rd. Daniel Suarez, 34th. Todd Dillon, 35th. Denny Hamlin with the transmission issue ends up in 36th. Brad Keselowski with the blown tire in 37th. And AJ Allmendinger with that grenading engine at the very beginning of the race, only made, I think, 6 laps. Yeah, 6 laps here. Ends up in last place. Your winner on Earth 2, AJ Allmendinger. Let's take a look at how that shapes up the points here with Kyle Larson. Now, your point leader over William Byron by 35 points. So a 35-point swing with William Byron's blown tire there. Ends up taking a 35-point lead. Christopher Bell in third place at minus 85 behind your leader, Larson. Chase Elliott going to be minus 91 there, and everybody else is in the 100s. Chase Elliott in fourth, Ryan Blaney fifth, Tyler Reddick sixth, Denny Hamlin seventh, Alex Bowman in eighth, Joey Logano ninth, Bubba Wallace 10th, Ross Chastain 11th, Chris Buescher 12th, Chase Briscoe 13th, 14th for Cindric, 15th for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ryan Preece now in the 16th position, but he would drop that spot because Josh Berry, who's right below him in 17th, already has the win. So Ryan Preece, your first man looking in. Kyle Busch, your next man on the outside looking in. John Hunter Nemechek, Carson Hocevar, Michael McDowell round out your drivers on the outside looking in. Austin Dillon 22nd. So there you go. There is your points rundown after Kansas. And once again, in case you missed it, the poll question is, has this been the worst 5-race run for the next-gen car so far? Because with all those results and all of that, you can't not address the fact that this has absolutely been not a great run for this car. The car is very aero sensitive. When a car gets out front, it walks away with the lead, and it's really hard to pass them. You can see some passing throughout the field when the air is dirty enough for everybody, and sometimes cars can get 2-for-1s when other cars are trying to pass each other. But overall, for the lead, it is very difficult to pass because of the dirty air. And this car had been racing really well at mile and a half, but now its one strength has not been very effective for it here recently. So just hasn't been a good run. But yeah, that is the poll question. Has this been the worst 5-race run? Right now, 69 nice percent saying yes, 31% saying no. Just a few votes in so far. I love to see a dominant display by Larson, but I have to admit they do need to do something with this car, add horsepower or something, because it is too aero sensitive, says Escobar. Indeed, it is. It is certainly aero sensitive, no doubt about that. And that's exactly what I was talking about. It's a good point there, Escobar. I agree. Something has to be done. Hopefully, NASCAR takes a look at it and makes a big change in the offseason. I feel like it's coming because last season they knew they acknowledged they needed to make adjustments to it, but they didn't have enough time. So hopefully in this coming up season, they will fix it. But we're stuck with it for this year, and it's kind of what you had to expect coming into this season. But hopefully they get something figured out here soon. What's up, Lanes? Always good to see you on here. Aloha, BB. I love the Kyle Larson show, says Dennis Gillespie. Indeed. It was the Kyle Larson show, no doubt about it. John P saying, "Hey BB, I watched the race while I was putting up my new wooden fence. I'm afraid of the fence rusting, so I slathered it in Roundup and hot tar. It looks bad, but it won't rust. I love your channel. Appreciate you there, John P." Chase Elliott's pit crew cost him a chance of the win. It's not one thing; it's something else with the 9 team, says Joseph Wood. Yeah, if Chase Elliott has a clean race, there is a good chance that he gets this win. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Sorry about that. But yeah, they did not do that. So unfortunately, it is what it is. John P, I found a new non-alcoholic men's multivitamin that I like. I get so much strength and feel like I'm 11 years old again. I wash it down with about 22 Bud Lights. It's called Balance, says John P. Yep, Chase. The Chase crew let him down today, says Camaro. For sure, Chase Elliott had a car capable of winning this race. So did Josh Berry. Multiple penalties there for Josh Berry as well. Both of those guys had cars capable of winning this race. Denny Hamlin, without the transmission issue, definitely had a car capable of winning this race as well. So interesting if those things hadn't have happened, for sure. Kyle Larson had a fairly clean race, and the other drivers that had cars that were capable of beating him did not have clean races, and we ended up with a blowout, unfortunately, in this one. That definitely has to be acknowledged since we're going in pretty hard on the car here today as well. Camaro, not a fan of John P's creative fiction there. When is Bubba going to win? Is he going to start catching some heat for his winless streak, says Brian Karsten? I don't know. Seems to still be well funded as far as that goes. So I think as long as the sponsorship money keeps rolling in, I think he's going to be good over there at 23-11. So I think, in fact, Kansas was his last win, if I'm not mistaken. Off the top of my head. What's up, Danny B? Oh, wait, I meant BB. God bless Clint, says Joseph Wooten. Indeed, Clint had a few snafus or gaffes, whatever you want to call them, on the call today for sure. John P, I went fishing yesterday and took a tin of Zins with me. I'm hoping to get the fish addicted to the bite so I can catch a lot of big bass who can't refuse the bait since they are hooked, literally, says John P. The most so John P is now a fisherman as well. Napa Racing fan, most memorable moments of the race, Boyer calling Larson Bush. And Larson calling him McMurray during the pace laps. Elliott's pit crew not in their prime. Yeah, indeed, indeed. Chase Elliott's pit crew not their best day, but hopefully they can get it all together for sure. This was an average Kansas race, but compared to the last 5 races, it was great, says Napa Racing fans. So Napa liked this race better than the previous 5 races combined. John P. I'm a BB fan, not a spammer. I literally refresh YouTube every 10 minutes so I don't miss a BB stream, says John P. Camaro with the super chat here. Appreciate it. And while we're on the subject, I want to give a shout out to Bruce. No doubt about it. Bruce, 22 months, whatever it was, Bruce. So I missed Bruce on the last stream. So I wanted to give a shout out to Bruce right here. So because I did miss that one. So apologies, but $5 for the 5 wins. So appreciate you there, Camaro. With the fist bump, of course, a Chevrolet man being the Camaro there and always excited for a Larson win. Appreciate the support there. 100%, my friend. Rosie saying thank you to Camaro as well. Sinister Grin, it's just not NASCAR who dislikes Larson. The sprint car community doesn't either. Envious and jealousy when it comes to Larson, says Sinister Grin. And that's kind of like all motorsports. There's a point in motorsports or in any sport, really, when you just start getting too many wins as a team or as a driver. Let's go to the let's just take the New England Patriots, for example. When the New England Patriots won their first championship, everybody was like, oh, that's a great underdog story. Yay, they won. But by the time they had won their 6th championship, everybody was kind of over it. They were no longer the underdog story. People were tired of them winning. The same thing with Jimmy Johnson in the Cup Series. Jimmy Johnson was a refreshing story. He didn't do a whole lot in the Busch Series, so he was a surprise there when he came up to the Cup Series and started winning. But then he started winning too much. You can go all the way back to Jeff Gordon. Dale Earnhardt Sr. fans loved Jeff Gordon at first. Then he started winning too much. He was pushing Dale Sr. So then it went the other way. He's winning too much. We don't like him. It's all the car. Ray Evernham. If it wasn't for Ray Evernham, he would never win a race. Like, you heard all kinds of stuff. So it really gets to a point, and Kyle Larson is definitely to that point now. People are starting to dislike Kyle Larson for winning too much. And it is just the way it goes. It is the nature of sports. No doubt about it. So that is just the way things go from time to time. And that's just hey, that's just the way it is for sure. So yeah, for sure, when you win too much, and certainly on dirt, he wins too much for their taste as well. So good point there. Good points for sure. Let's see. Bruce said, LOL at my mom's today. She wanted to watch golf. Sounds like I didn't miss too much, says Bruce Garvey. For sure. Camaro, I don't get it. Not a good joke, says Dennis Gillespie. Elliott returned to prime form, but his pit crew let him down. Hopefully they can return to prime form for the next points race on prime with the 600, says Napa Racing fan. Indeed, Chase Elliott was doing Chase Elliott things today. You can't take anything away from him. He was doing, what he needed to do. He had the car that could possibly win this race, and just unfortunately, look, we're not going to bag on the pit crew. Sometimes things happen, but look, Chase Elliott's returning to form. The win will come eventually, but today just wasn't his day. Just didn't break his way. Things like that happen from time to time. And then the final adjustments, I think he missed it some on the final adjustments too, but it's certainly, if you're a Chase Elliott fan, things are looking up. I'll say that. So don't get too bummed out about it for sure. Another top 10 for Logano. Not sure about the Blaney finish, says Jamie Schweitzer. For sure. Logano definitely top 10s back to back. I'm not sure about Blaney. I'm not sure where he finished last week either. So I'll have to check on that one as well. OJ, what's up, my friend? OJ pumped up about the Larson win as well. BB, can you break down Bush's day for us, please? says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, Kyle Busch was running really well today. He had worked his way. He started, I think, 20 something, maybe 22nd, 20th, somewhere in there. He had worked his way up to the top 10, top 13 at one point. Then he got absolutely. I don't. He was just on the wrong end of a racing incident at the end of the day. Really, wrong end of four wide, and that sort of cost him his day there. I think in the it was either the second or last stage when that happened, if I'm not mistaken. Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks, completely spanked them. Says OJ and Toothpaste. OJ attended that game. He's enjoying being in that region for right now. Rockies are the worst team, though, says OJ and Toothpaste. Bud Black fired OJ and Toothpaste, says in between the lanes, talking about the manager there. Dennis Gillespie with the super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the support. And Rosie, thanking you as well. And Dennis, appreciating Rosie saying, what's up? Now, can we have the Dirty Air 250 All-Star race at North? So, yeah, we got a non-points race coming up. A lot of controversy has been made about the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro. They wanted to do a run what you brung format. The teams rejected that, saying it would be not cost efficient, not cost effective. So that was shot down. Some fans are upset about that. Some fans are upset that last year that Kyle Larson under the format once again absolutely drug them. So they're hoping it's not another repeat of literally what just happened at Kansas. Somebody in the Discord said they could see Larson winning the next three races, talking about the Coke 600, which is the next points race, the Kansas race, which he just won, and then Wilkesboro, which he has won before as well. So which is not that far out of the realm of possibility either. I would agree with that. So is the format, a lot of people said they do like the format this year for the All-Star race. Don't have it right in front of me, so I'm not going to necessarily speak on it. I don't want to mess something up here. But so hopefully this North Wilkesboro is a great track. A lot of people excited that it came back, but hopefully this All-Star race is better than the previous All-Star race where sort of like today, Larson stunk up the show. So hopefully we don't get one of those for sure. But yeah, Napa Racer fan. For sure. Hopefully we don't get a Dirty Air 250. I agree with you 100%. Hopefully they can figure out something on this car with the tire package, with something, figure out something here to make the aero not matter as much, especially at short tracks. But yeah, it's not been a good fight, in my opinion, 5-race run there for the next gen car. What is next? All-Star. Joey has a lot of testing there, so don't sleep on Joey, says Jamie Schweitzer. I like the way you're thinking, Jamie Schweitzer. Penske has been on fire here too. Don't sleep on Penske, period. And not only Joey, but that information is going to translate to the other teams. Ryan Blaney, could he get another All-Star win? Does he keep the window net up for this one? So don't sleep on Blaney there either. And Austin Cindric, he's either going to be hit or miss. Like he's either going to be a world beater or he is just not going to be in the racetrack. So he's been sort of streaky here the last few seasons. But he's improved quite a bit from his rookie year. So you do see a gradual, steady improvement there on Cindric, no doubt about it. Josh Berry, similar equipment to the Penske guys, basically another Penske car, and we know he's a short track ace too. So don't sleep on Josh Berry as far as that Penske line of information goes. Good call there, Jamie Schweitzer. BB, missed you this morning. Did you talk about the lawsuit, Judge Hinton, the charter injunction in 2311 maybe losing charter, says Bruce Garvey. I'm not super concerned about all that as far as them losing charters or anything like that, because I think they'll just keep trudging on and they'll keep doing what they need to do to have the race season go on. Denny Hamlin came out and said that they've planned ahead just in case something like that happens, not to worry about it too much. So whether or not they lose the charters, gain the charters, I'm not reading too much into any of it. Bob Pockris had the best conversation about that when he tweeted out, I wouldn't read too much into what the judges say as to which way the judge would be leaning one way or the other. Sometimes the judge already knows which way they're going to lean. They just are harder on the direction they're going to lean. So reading the tea leaves and all this stuff, and I'm not a good enough legal mind to break any of this stuff down anyway. I don't know how it's going to break down legally and stuff like that. But I wouldn't read too much into any of it, to be honest. As far as I'm concerned, I'm taking a wait and see, sit back and wait for actual results. I'm not worried about the judge saying this, and I'm going to extrapolate information because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I'm not in that world. So I don't really feel I'm too dumb legally as far as what I'm trying to say. I don't feel comfortable extrapolating information on the legal side of stuff. So I didn't make an episode about it. I also didn't have time to make an episode about it, if I'm being totally honest about it. So I just don't feel good extrapolating information as far as that goes, because I just don't feel strong on it. So it would just literally be my opinion with nothing to back it up as far as that goes. But I'm just gonna wait for what the judge actually rules and stuff like that. I need actual like physical results before I make any calls on anything. But he was to me he was just questioning both sides. Does he lean one way or the other? Who knows? Who knows as far as that goes. So we'll have to see what he actually decides when it is all said and done, and I will talk about it then. But yeah, could be anything. Could go either way as far as that goes. And I liked Bob Pockrass's tweet about it 100%. But no, I did not talk about it this morning, Bruce, for sure. Let's see. Dennis Gillespie and the Indy 500 says Dennis. I don't know if Larson's going to win the Indy 500. I think just finishing the race and getting a good finish would be a big win for the Indy stuff. I don't think the veterans of IndyCar are going to let Kyle Larson win. We saw when they were playing iRacing that they didn't let who was it? Lando Norris? Lando Norris was about to win a race, and they just went up there and took him out. So now, obviously, you wouldn't do that in the Indy 500 or anything like that, but you could slow up a driver just to make sure he doesn't win and things like that. So I don't think the veterans they're just going to make it really hard. I'm not going to say he can't win, but I'm going to say it's going to be highly unlikely for him to go in there and get that win. But he is doing good for the limited experience. What he's doing in the IndyCar is impressive. I will say that. For sure. I like the way the 7 used the banking and apron. I got going backwards to get to the pits, says Brickyard Brickhead. The 77, maybe. Maybe talking about Carson Hocevar. Yeah, he did save the win, I think, in my opinion, for Kyle Larson. No doubt about it. On another live stream, I predicted Seabell or Hamlin for the win. Corey Heim for trucks was my prediction as well, says in between the lanes. So there you go. You weren't too far off with the Seabell pick, but just a little bit off. I didn't even make a pick today, if I'm not mistaken. I just said who had the best statistics, and I forgot to make a pick myself. My wild card is Ty Gibbs for the All-Star, mainly because it's a non-points race, says Jamie Schweitzer. That would be a big win. That would be a big win for them for sure. Ty Gibbs has had some decent momentum, but he's starting to slip back again. So they need another boost there, momentum wise. BB apparently Hocevar gave the bird to Lane Riggs in the truck race. Yeah, I did talk about that a little bit, I think, this morning, but I don't think there's a lot to that. Like he probably, in my opinion, Lane Riggs just got loose and got up and got into Carson Hocevar. I think Hocevar probably thought he did it on purpose, and then when he probably looked at the tape later, he was like, "Oh, he just got loose and got into me." I don't think he was intentionally trying to wreck me, but I think in that moment, before seeing a replay or anything, Hocevar was probably like, "This dude just tried to wreck me for a win, and I beat him," and so he flipped him off. And of course, Lane Riggs said the guy won the race. Why is he flipping me off? Like that was the approach, Lane Riggs. In my opinion, I like both guys. I think they're both super talented race car drivers. I think at the end of the day, it's a nothing burger. I don't think either one of them will think a whole lot about it until they start racing beside each other again. Maybe they think about it then. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot to that. Just two young guys doing young guy stuff, to be honest. Dennis Gillespie, when Carson gets settled down, is he going to be a force to reckon with? I believe, says Dennis Gillespie. If he gets settled down, like right now, he could go either way. Is he going to settle down and become a consistent race car driver, or is he going to go the route of a Ricky Stenhouse Jr., where he'll get a win here and there, but he keeps driving so aggressively that he's not going to get a ton of wins? Like he's just going to wreck as much as he wins, type deal, or wreck more than he wins in some situations. It could still go either way. He's such a young guy, but the potential's there. Like the talent is absolutely there. If he can pick his spots, if he can calm down, he can definitely put up a ton of wins. There's no doubt about that. I bet North Wilkesboro reopening has improved the local economy, says Jamie Schweitzer. Oh, indeed. I'm sure, too. The weekend, that whole week, I would say, because you got the Cars Tour, you got the Modifieds. That whole week, I'm sure people are racking in money left and right. It's been 4 years with this Cup car. Time to stop saving costs and spending some more money to improve the car for the racing product, more horsepower, remove the rear diffuser, etc., says Napa Racing Fan. I think those will be two great places to start, and they also need to get rid of the underwing altogether. At least for short tracks and road courses. Pelot won the Indy Grand Prix, says in between the lanes. So Pelot continuing his dominance in IndyCar, having a heck of a season. Even Larson said that the product has gotten stale, says Napa Race Fan. Yeah, I think it's time for a serious look at taking a stab at this car. Some big swings, some big changes at it for sure. Nick Lambouche says, have you heard of the really good driver Nick Fuentes, who's debuting in trucks next year? I have heard of Nick Fuentes, but I've heard his name. I'm not super familiar with him, so I'll have to look into that. for sure. But I've heard the name. I've got to look a little bit deeper into it because I'm not super familiar with his background as far as that goes. But I have heard the name. Alex Below to NASCAR. Sources tell me, he says in between the lanes, you might as well. Poor bad block. Brad finally had a good car run in six, and then DNF to due to low air pressure. Says Napa Racing fan. For sure. He tried something, and I like what he said after the race. He said we were being aggressive, going for a win, and that is essentially why the tire blew. So I did like that he was going for the win. So that's I do take solace in that. But he is, if it can go wrong this season for the 6 car and for the 8 car, it is going to go wrong. Unfortunately, they're having a very similar type of year. Brad getting obviously the worst end of it this year than the 8 car, but both are still having a lot of bad luck for sure. Bruce Garvey saying really interested to see how Prime treats NASCAR. Can't believe Fox is putting UFL on Fox and NASCAR on FS1. I looked, UFL is averaging about 500,000 on Fox. Yeah, so I don't know why. They've got their reasons for pushing it. I'm not super sure why they keep doing that, but I don't know. I guess they've got their reasons. Great move by Fox, but not surprised. Says Napa Racing fan. Larson totally dominated today. Says Mike G. Other than they're trying to force NASCAR fans to buy cable, like obviously that's the move, right? Let's see. Larson totally dominated today. Says Mike G. Yeah, he wore him out. There's no two ways around it. Both stages and the victory. Kyle Busch drinking Rebel Bourbon as we speak and is rowdy. Says in between the lanes, he probably needs a little Rebel Bourbon after this one. Last couple weeks, really. Prime paid NASCAR some money for rights to put Prime Racing on product. Excuse me. Prime Racing on product. Kyle Busch is not the only ballot, so he must already be locked into the All-Star race. Says Jamie Schweitzer. Okay, so he must already be locked in. So maybe his last win was close enough. I don't know. So I'll have to check on that one. Hard to decide driver of the day. A lot of underrated names had good runs. Heim and Priest in particular. John Hunter Nemechek also got a top 10, says Cody Ledger. Yeah, gonna really have to dig through it. But it's going to be hard to take it away from Larson too, because he led so many laps and got like sometimes you just got to give it to the winner for race of the day, right? One more FS1 race to go. Ready for Dale Jr. in the booth again after a year hiatus as an Napa Race fan. So there you go. 1 year away from Dale Jr. in the booth, and they get him back after the All-Star race. So that should be a good deal for every. Christopher Bell is eating some Reese's fine food potato salad as we speak, allegedly. Says in between the lanes, indeed. Reese's makes a lot of good quality sides if you're into that type of thing. Instead of making your own. Brad has 0 top 10 finishes this season, needs to work on that before a win, says Rusty Kennedy. Yeah, there's definitely 2 ways of going about it, right? He could have easily just gotten a nice top 10, just ran and sort of try to get your season back on track. But he decided to go the opposite way. He's doing the Vegas gambling. He's going all or nothing. He'd rather win a race and be like 30 something in points. So he's taking the opposite approach than just trying to work your way back into it, scoring as many top 10s and stuff as you can. But yeah, it's been an awful season. There's no doubt about that, Rusty, for sure, for the 6 car. Pat McAfee got Gunther, it says in between the lanes, talking about Pat McAfee and his WWE contract stuff he's got going on over there. Dennis Gillespie, they needed to go back to 5 lug nuts. They are getting way too far away from stock cars, says Dennis. Yeah, I mean, that's something that they need to bring up with the OEMs, because I feel like the OEMs pushed for all that, at least for the rim. We know that. Jamie Schweitzer says, what would you rate this race? If you're a Kyle Larson fan, you rate this race 100 out of 100. If you're anybody else, giving it over 50% would be generous, I feel like, for sure, because there was just really no battle for the lead all race. All the cars that could win the race had bad luck or a self-inflicted penalties. So it was just not for the lead. It was just not a good race. So generous, maybe if you're being generous, maybe 60%. But I think it's getting a failing grade either way. So 50% or below, probably for most people, if I had to guess. Who would win in a fight, Noah Gragson or Chase Elliott, says Branchy. Chase Elliott has the reach. And we've seen Noah be in a few fights. Look, Noah's a gamer. He's not going to back down from anybody. He's going to get in there and he's going to give it his best. But from what we've seen from Noah Gragson in altercations so far, and with Chase Elliott having the significant reach, I'm going to have to go with Chase Elliott there, because Noah Gragson is not going to let a punch get by him. He's usually going to block him with his face from the information we've seen thus far. But he could have improved. Maybe he's taken some classes. Maybe he's taken his training seriously in the off season. But right now, I'm going to have to go with Chase Elliott's. If you really had to pin me down on it, good question, Branchy. Now we're getting into the facts that NASCAR fans really want to know. I like what you're doing there. Escobar saying, I wish there was an app that had access to every channel you want. Yeah. I don't think it's far off from coming. It's down the pipeline coming one day, I feel like. Denny Hamlin recently, not much progressive with the progressive colors, says in between lines. Yeah, the 11 progressive car has been a curse upon the house of Hamlin thus far. The 11 team was not very clutch today. JJ says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, he was or JK says Napa Race fan. Yeah, he had a really good car, but the clutch gene let him down because he was not clutch because he didn't have a clutch. In case anybody was wondering what was going on there, Jesse Daly, if you're Brad and you got a shot at a win, I feel like you have to take it, whether people like it or not. You have to put him in the playoffs, says Jesse Daly. Yeah, and that's the game these days. It doesn't matter about getting good points finishes. You got to get wins. That's sort of the approach that Brad Keselowski is taking. So there's two sides to every argument for sure. It's been a year since Busch versus Stenhouse at Wilkesboro. Seems like just yesterday when a young Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Threw as many punches as he could at Kyle Busch and just couldn't do anything, move him or anything at all. At what? Oh, God. Jamie Schweitzer throwing some serious shade at Brad Keselowski here. At what point does Brad Racing become elder abuse? I don't know if I would go that far. Brad still has a lot of good years in front of him. He's just had a bad stretch of bad luck. Same thing with Ty Gibbs early in the season when everybody's like, is it time to blow up the Ty Gibbs train? He'll snap out of the slump at some point. Let's not wring our hands in the air just yet about Brad Keselowski. Then he had good finishes in the Mavis colors last year. He did. Mavis colors were beneficial to Hamlin. Maybe they need to go to a green and yellow. Maybe just put a green and yellow sticker in the car somewhere for him. Dinger ran great for Colleague and was in the playoffs on points. Now back to mechanical issues, says Napa Race fan. Yeah, it's unfortunate for sure. That engine blowing up ruined what has been a good start to the season for Colleague, and more mechanical issues also for the 10 car. And the 10 car also got into a wreck, not of his own making. So Colleague had been off to a good start, but this was a rough one for him today, no doubt about it. BB with the for sure in between the lanes. Would you love to see NASCAR have an app like F1, commercial-free broadcast of all series and old races for $90 a year? I think a lot of people would be super happy with that, Bruce. Bruce Garvey with that one. That's a great question, and I think overwhelmingly, I think a lot of people would be happy with that because, I personally, I wouldn't need any other thing. I've got free, YouTube's for free, right? You don't have to pay to watch YouTube. You just have to deal with the commercials, and then $90 a year. If that's the only expense I've got other than the internet to watch both of them, that's not the worst deal in the world. Sort of a Flow Racing model, except you don't get as many races as Flow Racing provides for you. I think the whole team will return their prime on prime. It must be scripted, says Napa Racing fan. I believe Heim may have been the top finisher for 2311 today, says Napa. Indeed, he was. He outran all of the other 2311 cars. So who had that on their bingo today? And 13th place for a rookie with just a handful of starts. Not a bad showing for Corey Heim. Hopefully he is going to be the driver if Legacy can get that charter from Rick Ware Racing, if they can figure out that whole deal over there. Hopefully he is the driver going over there to Legacy, and hopefully Toyota puts some money into him, because I do believe Corey Heim is going to be the next great Toyota driver. I think that's wholeheartedly, full stop. He is going to be the future of Toyota after, right there with Christopher Bell, in my opinion. Heim is too good for trucks. I agree with you, Napa Race fan, 100%. Chevy Sweep says in between the lanes. Hey, y'all, it's my 33rd birthday, says RJ. What's up, RJ? Good to see you on here, and happy birthday to you as well. Heim should be in Cup next year, says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Hopefully that's what Legacy is getting the charter for, no doubt about it. Even though it looks like 2311 is showing a super high level of interest in him as well. Either way, I think either way is going to be a good situation for him next season. Who's the next driver that will be working? We'll be working with. BB says in between lanes. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out in the off season. A lot can happen between then and now. Legacy has taken a bigger step forward this season than I anticipated, says Jesse Daly. Yeah, they've got some speed for sure if they can just avoid the wrecks. Rusty Kennedy, I love the in-car view being on Max. I watch the in-car more than the broadcast. Yeah, that's a really cool deal that Max has for sure. If you have Max, happy birthday, RJ, says Jamie. Dennis Gillespie, how does the fact that Larson slowed down and went faster today, says Dennis, talking about saving tires and then started going faster. Sometimes that happens. I might be moving to the Nashville area soon to a new apartment, says RJ. Nashville's a fun place from what everybody says. So hopefully you have a good time if you get up there, and don't party excessively, as they say. Congrats to the Kyle, says Tim Brace, and good to see you back on here, RJ. I feel like it's been a minute. Congrats to the Kyle, says Tim Brace. Will Chastain make the playoffs? Says Branchy. It's hard to say. I don't know. Without a win, I think you're going to need a win to get in. I do think Chastain's capable of making a win. So if you had to pin me down on it, I'm going to say Chastain's going to make the playoffs with a win. I think SVG makes the playoffs with a win too. Uh, Congrats to the Kyles, says Timber Race. Yeah, for sure. The Kyles got it done today. Unfortunately, not the finish that Bush wanted, but did have a good run going before that. Heim time is coming, says Hunter Brandon. I think so too. I think so too. I just don't know if 2311 is going to find a spot for him. I feel like Legacy's got a spot for him, and I feel like that's going to happen. And I think Legacy they've really improved. So I'm excited if he goes over there. Imagine Corey Heim, John Hunter Nemechek, and Eric Jones. That would be a nice lineup over there. I do believe Blaney was closing, says Tim Brace. Yeah, the Fords had speed. I feel like they needed a long run though, for some reason. Well, Heim did take out the 43, says Delmer Kaufman. That's unfortunate, but like I said, he is a rookie. So sometimes stuff like that's going to happen. It wasn't super egregious. So he'll clean that up in time, I think. Briscoe, good finish today, but it is unfortunate. I hated to see the 43 not finish because I do feel like he would have had the same type of speed the 42 did there at the end. Briscoe, good finish today, says in between lanes. Indeed. Briscoe's either hit or miss, and he was hit today. Blaney, go 12, says Michael Hunter. Yep, Blaney with a third place finish. Like I said, when Blaney finishes, he finishes well. Hopefully Larson isn't battling the rain this year for the double, says Napa Race fan. Man, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That was such a great story that ended up being a bad story last year. What track other than Homestead would you like to see as the season finale? Says Jamie Schweitzer. I feel like Darlington would be a good one. Like I feel like that would be a strong one. Max Pappas on the Kenny Wallace show also threw out Darlington out there. So I do think that would. I'm going to have to agree with Mad Max there on that one. What track do you think Cody Ware places the highest? Says Sir Wood Rooster. Probably a super speedway. Probably going to be a super speedway if I had to guess. Did you hear the Hemi V8s might be coming back to the Charger, going to full EV? Bit them in the butts. Says RJ. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And they get that guy that was directing all that. He's been removed, and the guy that was the Brotherhood of Muscle, he's come back in power, and the V8s are coming back. That is for sure for the Dodge brand and Ram. So hopefully it's not too late. I missed the first chunk of the race. I saw from stage 2. So you didn't miss too much in between lanes. It's pretty much the same from there. You saw all the good stuff. All the wrecks were in the second half. I'd like to see Rockingham host the season finale. Drivers have won championships there in the past, like Dale Earnhardt, 7th in 1994. Says RJ. So there you go. RJ wants to see it happen at Rockingham. I'm not sure any of the closers could have passed Larson being out front. Too big of an advantage, says Bruce Garvey. Yeah, the way you can use the air to block. I agree with you. Will we see Chevy winning the championship this year or Ford for 4 in a row, says Hunter Brandon. That's a good question. Can somebody break the Penske code, the Penske maze or whatever Penske's got going on there in Phoenix? Can somebody outdo them there? That's going to be huge. The huge question going into the championship race. If Penske cars make it to the Final Four, so it's not written in stone that a Penske car will make it to the Final Four. Rusty for Booth. Says Jamie Schweitzer, love Rockingham, but it froze my tail off in November and February. Says Delmer, yeah, for sure. It was not the best time to have races at Rockingham back in the day when they had them, for sure. My solution to fix the racing product is to stop saving costs and spend some money. $1 billion plus dollars should be enough, says Napa Race fan. Yeah, but you got to spend it the right way. You can't just throw money at it and expect it to happen. I think they could just really, if they just took the underbody aero stuff away, I think that would be a big swing in the right direction, in my opinion. But that's just me. And they would have to figure out a way to tie the body because the body ties to the underbody. So it wouldn't be the cheapest thing to do. But once they figured that out, I think they'd be going in the right direction there. How many more laps do you think Larson could have held off Bell and Blaney? That was it. I think that's all that front tire had. It looked like the front tire, at least. I think that's all that front tire had at the end of the race. I think he had used it all the way up. I'm sure Blaney makes the playoffs also, says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll make them for sure. I also compete in Special Olympics and will be in Nashville this coming weekend for track and field. Got to show Tennessee Volunteers what we North Carolina Tar Heels can do, says RJ. So there you go. RJ going to jump in there and show him what he can do. Good luck to you. Hope you do well. I hope you exceed all your goals and get it done over there. All right. Looks like we reached the end of it. Final results of the poll question. 71% said yes, this has been the worst 5 race run for the next gen car. And 29% saying no, it's not. We've had a worse run before this. We're just not remembering it. All right. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.